So I already said that this contest and what the NDC need to do is to observe the reality versus the potential. Okay. So what is reality? JDM is reality. Why is he reality? JDM is reality. JDM is followed by Madame Jane, whom we are talking about tonight. And potential is Dr. Bawumia, the vice president. Now, if the contest was for a contest about vice president, it will be reality versus reality, because John Dramani Mahama has been vice president to Professor Mills. Fortunately for him, he was a vice president who ended his 4-year term as president because of the unfortunate events of 24th February 2012. Dr. Bawumia has been vice president 24th July, the unfortunate incidents of 24th July 2012. Dr. Bawumia has been vice president from 17 to 20 and is continuing his second term as vice president. In fact, Dr. Bawumia has been a longer vice president than John Dramani Mahama. But in terms of 4-year vice president, they've all had it. So if the contest was for vice president, it would be reality versus reality. Once the contest for president, it is potential of Dr. Bawumia. What kind of a president could he be? Would he be good? Would he be bad? Would he be tall? Would he be short? Would he be blue? Would he be red? We don't know. It's potential. How do we assess it? Based on what he's saying in the campaign, based on what we know that he has done. John Dramani Mahama is reality. Reality can be president again. We saw it in Brazil. Lula, Brazil's famous president. He was president. He ended his tenure. I think it was prime minister. They have a political system that mimics the UK system. So he was a kind of prime minister, I believe so. And Lula led Brazil, left for many years, difficult situation, came back to Brazil because the Brazilian people were calling for Lula's time. Lula was one of their most famous presidents in the last, maybe since the Second World War. Lula has been one of the most famous presidents of Brazil. Not just famous, but also popular and really able presidents of Brazil. So Lula went back. In Singapore, it happened. 82-year-old prime minister was re-elected to the Singapore prime ministerial position. So yes, reality can come back all the time. But the reality comes back based on the reality. The reality comes back to campaign that you know me, you know what I've done, you want what I did, it's better than now, vote me back to power. Now, that's John Mahama's situation. His reality is complicated. So the NDC PR for this election needs to get Ghanaians to answer this question in the affirmative. The reality of John Mahama and the potential of Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia. That is why, because of the potential difficulties of this argument for the NDC, that is why I agree with them. If I were them, I'll do the same. Instead of pitching the election of reality and potential, John Dramani Mahama and Muhammadu Bawumia, the NDC is pitching the election as the NDC political party and the NPP political party. And what's the NDC saying? We have 8 years, they have 8 years. In Ghana, we do 8-year cycle. Why does a party want to do? They don't say why does Bawumia, they say why does a party? The NPP people also, because of the economic difficulty that is facing them, they are also shooting it hard and saying that look at John Dramani Mahama, look at what he did, look at how we defeated him in 2016, and check out Dr. Bawumia, even as vice president, see the innovations he's done. In fact, NPP are saying that forget about presidency, take vice president John Mahama, vice president Bawumia, compare them. And if you do that comparison, many civil society people will vote for Dr. Bawumia. It may be that President Mahama was unlucky, I don't know. But if you look at the reality, that's what some people will say. It doesn't mean it's the truth. Others will say something else. Opinions are like noses. We all have them. It's a democracy. We judge or we don't war. All right, let's continue with the analysis. So let me take you back a little bit, viewers. Let me take you back a little bit and show you in the critical elections that we have had, all of the critical elections that we have had, why it has been what it is in terms of the PR. What they need to overcome is John Mahama's reality. How are they going to sell John Mahama's reality to the Ghanaian people? If the Ghanaian people buy into John Mahama's reality, fair enough. If the Ghanaian people don't buy into John Mahama's reality, John Mahama will be defeated. Because Ghanaian people don't know what Dr. Bawumia is bringing. He can campaign, the NDC can say and all of that, but that's all potential. NDC propaganda and PR must sell that John Mahama's reality is better. If they keep focusing on poking the government, without discussing John Maham's reality, that may be a problem. And that's why tonight, I love what Asiedu Nketia said. I'm going to deal with Asiedu Nketia. If I don't have time tonight, I'll deal with it on Tuesday. Just Asiedu Nketia, just what he said. I will come back to it. Maybe I should, so that the story runs longer. All right, because I'm running out of time and our boy is here. So that's what they need to deal with. So now, in dealing with the reality, they will have to take their mind back. And that's what Jena Opoku-Agyeman had yesterday. That's when she was speaking. I don't know whether she remembered this driver's mate, running mate thing, where it came from. Maybe she didn't remember it. Because you're all talking about Dr. Bawumia. But there is a John Mahama reality. Have a look at how we captured Jena Opoku-Agyeman's "I will not leave you, I will be with you, and when it's time, I will not say that I was only a mate." Listen to how we captured it, and listen to how we are reminding you, viewers, that this is what John Mahama said. So, in speaking about "I am a mate," and in speaking, or in criticizing the concept of a vice president being a mate, was Jena Opoku-Agyeman criticizing John Dramani Mahama, or was he criticizing Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia? This is the reality the NDC PR has to deal with, because social media doesn't forget. When Jena Opoku-Agyeman was talking about the mate thing, was she concerned about, was she criticizing John Mahama, or she was criticizing Alhaji Bawumia? This is it. Have a look.
At the time of reckoning, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I will not, in the advancement of self-serving ambition, declare to the whole world that I was only the driver's mate.
Take it that I'm the spare driver or caretaker or whatever. Ghanaians would vote for me and turn me from the spare driver that I've been described as into the actual driver of the bus, leading us to the destination that we want to go.
I will not, in the advancement of self-serving ambition, declare to the whole world that I was only the driver's mate.
Ghanaians would vote for me and turn me from the spare driver that I've been described as into the actual driver of the bus, leading us to the destination that we want to go to.
Yes, so you heard that. That's the point I'm making. Who is she criticizing? She believed that she was criticizing Dr. Bawumia for what Dr. Bawumia had said at UPSA. She believed she was criticizing Bawumia, but in the reality context, she was criticizing her boss. John Dramani Mahama had indicated that the vice president is a spare driver or something like that. That's what John Mahama indicated. And then Jenana's speech is prepared for her. People seem to have forgotten that John Mahama said that. This is the problem that they have to deal with. Bawumia's potential, John Mahama's reality. Bawumia's potential, John Mahama's reality. Let's end with Kwesi Ahoy. Take our text message and listen to Bice Oseko 4. Yes, Kwesi Ahoy, our good friend. We go back to the story again. The one he apologized for, you know that already. Good evening and congratulations to Jena Opoku-Agyeman. We'll continue the analysis on Tuesday with Johnson Asiedu Nketia only based on what he said at UPS yesterday. It's coming up big time. Kwesi Ahoy.
I was not prepared to be president at that time, but nature skewed things in such a way that President Mills had to give way to John Mahama. Anything can happen. So, Nana, be ever prepared, like your motto says. Be ready. Anything can happen, and you can become the president of the Republic of Ghana.